Hello YouTube, Computer Kid 1416 here. And a lot of you guys may be wondering what happened to my video game collection series. That was the series where I went through all my different game systems in order and kind of gave you guys a rundown of what games I had for it, accessories, that kind of thing. Well, a combination of laziness and just how repetitive it was, it got kind of boring after a while. I just decided to kind of discontinue it. I'm still going to keep the videos up that I've already made because for the most part I don't believe in deleting videos if I can, unless there's a really good reason. So those will remain up, but what I decided to do instead was just kind of make a comprehensive, much longer, but comprehensive collection video that would, similar to my room tour video where I may update these, every year or two. But for the most part it's just kind of all in one, so... Yep, and speaking of that, I do plan on making a room tour eventually, so you'll see more of this cabinet later. But I just thought I'd kind of show this off, so I can talk about the systems themselves. So, by the way, these lights are really cool. These came from Sam's Club. They come in a 5-pack, so that's why I have 5 here. And it's cool because they change color. It's blue, off, white light, and red light. So that's pretty cool. It also came with a remote, but I have lost it since then. But yep. So anyway, going kind of in order here, we've got my NES, which I got from my grandparents about 5 or 6 years ago, I'd say. They used to go to a lot of auctions, and they picked this up at one of those along with some games, so about a dozen games. So I actually got 2 NESs. One of them has since been given to my friend Billy Core, but this is the one that I kept because it was the one that was in the best shape. So, and I also installed the blinking light win, which for those who don't know, basically is where it's a replacement 72-pin connector that makes the games to where they don't have that connection problem, with you pushing it down. So if you guys know what I'm talking about. So, yep, that's a pretty cool... It was a Kickstarter, by the way. Here is my Super Nintendo, which is my oldest retro console. I got this from my cousins who handed it down to me. They were early 90s kids, so they had this originally, and yeah, they eventually gave it to me, and this was actually my very first home console in general. And they gave this to me before I even had the GameCube, so yeah, that's really awesome. Great memories with that. Next we got my Atari 2600, which I think it looks pretty cool with the light reflecting on the cartridge there, but yeah, this is the more standard 4 switch model. I got this from a lady on Craigslist about 3 or 4 years ago, I'd say, and she had again about a dozen games with it, and I've since gotten a lot more because they're so cheap, so the games that is, so that's pretty cool. Next we got the Sega Genesis, which is my newest console acquisition, retro console acquisition that is. As you guys know, if you saw the video, I got this from Goodwill about a year ago. Yep, I also got the Model 2 Genesis, which is not on display right now, but I do have it. Just kind of a backup Genesis, I guess you could say. Okay guys, moving on to the Wii, which I got for my birthday back in May of 2007. It's still in pretty good shape, I would say, except for one major issue, which is that its disc reader is bad. This is actually a fairly common issue, and I'm guessing it's nothing more than just age. I mean, it is... The Wii is, I guess, almost 11 years old now, so I think they're just kind of starting to go bad, unfortunately. So, yeah, mine has that problem. What I tried to do to fix it was to get, I don't know if you can see this, I actually hacked it with the homebrew channel and was going to play games off the hard drive. Now, I was not using this to play pirated games, don't worry about that. I was just going to use it to play games I already legally owned, but just play them off the hard drive instead. Well, unfortunately, the disc reader is so bad that it can't even back up the games good enough, so... And I know I can download the ROMs offline, but it's kind of sketchy, and a lot of them are hard to find because of how new the Wii still is, so I just didn't want to fool with that. What I'm gonna do, I guess, is I like my systems to be in good and near perfect condition. So what I will eventually do is replace the laser, and then what I'll probably do at that point is still use the hard drive method, but just for the sake of preservation. So, and I hear they run faster as well. So anyway, next we got the PlayStation, which I got from my local used game store about a year or two ago for only $30, I believe. Came with the system and the controller and 2 or 3 games, so that was cool. I had a PlayStation 2 before this, as you guys probably know if you saw that video, but I just wasn't playing any games that were on the PlayStation 2 because after the Dreamcast, my interest in non-Nintendo consoles really kind of drops off. To be honest, I'm just not in the modern games that aren't Nintendo, so yeah, so I decided it'd be more era appropriate to get a regular PlayStation instead. Next we got the Dreamcast, which I got off eBay about, I don't remember when, a year or two ago about, maybe. But yeah, it's one of my newest consoles, new enough to where I never made a video about it. It's in pretty good shape. I just mainly just use it to play like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and games like that. You know, Crazy Taxi, those kind of games. And yeah, it's in pretty good shape, except for the CMOS battery is dead, meaning I have to set the date and time each time, which is kind of annoying, but I'll eventually fix that as well. I think you do have to solder, which is kind of annoying, but that's doable, I guess. Next we got the N64, which was the first console I ever bought used online. I think I got it off eBay about 7 or 8 years ago. And yeah, it holds up well. I really haven't had to do much to it in terms of repairs or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely a trooper. Finally, we got my pride and joy, the GameCube, which was my first ever home console that I got new. I got it for Christmas of 2002, along with Super Mario Sunshine. So yeah, lots and lots of nostalgia related to this system right here. I don't use it as much as I used to, because of the fact that if you play them on the Wii with the component cables, you can get progressive scan mode, which makes the games look a whole lot better. So, and the cables do exist for the GameCube, but they're really rare, so I don't have that. I do use it though to play the Game Boy player, of course, which you can't use on the Wii. So yeah, that's mainly what I use the GameCube for now, but I guess if anything, it's just a way to kind of preserve it. It's not yet to use it as much, so that's cool. Going up here, we got, next to my TV, I ran out of room on the shelf, so I got the Nintendo Switch here, which I just got, of course, on launch day a month ago. Yeah, it's still a very nice system. I still have not had any problems with it. I haven't had warping problems. I haven't had, Joy-Con problems or whatever other problems people supposedly had. So my opinion from the review about the issues being overblown is still in place. Okay, next we got the one system that's not in my bedroom, and that's the Wii U. The only reason we have it out here is because sometimes we'll play games as a family, Wii and Wii U games, and also just because it just makes more sense to have it out here. The TV out here is much bigger, and I don't know, it just fits out here, I guess. So, yep. Anyway, on my handheld consoles, we've got the Virtual Boy, which is on display here. It's you could consider it a handheld console, I guess. It's kind of like a hybrid, I would say, between a handheld and a home console. I still need to get around to making a video about this. However, I am so fond of the system that I really haven't been able to make a video that I'm proud of yet, so I'm kind of being too hard on myself about it. So I'll get around to making a video on it eventually. Probably won't meet my expectations, but that's okay. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it anyway. Next we got the Game Boy, that my parents got before I was even born. With the Game Boy camera there. Game Boy Color, which was my first personal handheld console, and also my first console in general that I got new. I got it in 2000. That's my original one there. And then we got it fell over here, the Game Boy Advance, which was actually my cousin's. I never had the original Game Boy Advance. But what I did have was the SP here, the Game Boy Advance SP. And you can see, let me think if I can get it in better lighting. It is quite scratched up, to say the least. Man, I brought this thing everywhere. I got this, by the way, for Christmas in 2004. 2004. And yeah, this thing is, to say it's been used is an understatement. This thing was my main Game Boy for, I guess, a long, long time. Because even when the DS came out, I still used this quite a bit to play original Game Boy games. So yeah, this thing has some wear, that's for sure. And just thought I'd note that it's still hard to charge. That's cool. This is the front-lit version, the original version. So, yep. Anyway, yep. Moving on. I do not have the Game Boy Micro yet. That's actually the only main Nintendo console I don't have. So, yep, I'll get one of those eventually though. Okay, moving on. Okay, not on the shelves because I still use them on a regular basis. Are my DS's. Now, unfortunately, I do not have. Sorry, the camera was turned upside down. I do not have my original Nintendo DS. Unfortunately, it was lost long ago, many houses ago even, so I doubt it's anywhere where I could find it. I'll eventually buy it again, but yes, I don't have a DS anymore. What I do have is a 3DS, which I got for my birthday in May of 2011. This thing is in, decent shape. It's got a little bit of scuffs here and there, but that was my door shutting, but yeah, it's got a few scuffs here and there, but it's in pretty good shape. I don't play that as much as I'm used to, but what I do play still on a regular basis is my 3DS XL, the new 3DS XL that I unboxed back in 2014. This thing is definitely an awesome system. If it weren't for the Switch, I would say that this was Nintendo's best handheld console, just in terms of build quality and everything. But, the Switch has since overtaken that, but it's still a great console, and I still play it every now and then, so it's cool. Yep, so anyway, moving on to the games. Before I get to the games, I'm not going to go too much into detail on this shit until my room tour, but I just want to kind of show you a general idea of where I keep my accessories. I keep them in these bins here. See, I got Atari stuff, Nintendo and Super Nintendo stuff, GameCube, Switch, N64, basically everything else. And my actual Game Boy games. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you my actual game collection, and this time, to save time, I'm just going to kind of do a flyby, and you guys can pause, or I'm also going to put in the description a database I keep of my current game collection. So, I've done a pretty good job of going through these, but there are some, I might have some games that I no longer have. So, in that case, just go on the database and look, but I thought I would just give you guys a little basic flyby. So, yep. Starting out with my only PS2 game, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3. That's actually my dad's. But everything else is GameCube. Starting with GameCube here. So, it's going to do, again, just a quick flyby. And you guys can pause, read this, or look at my online database. Okay, so now moving on to Wii. Yep, and then Wii U. And my only two Switch games. And then moving on to Game Boy Color. The only two Game Boy Color boxes I have. And then Nintendo DS. I know some of these I don't have anymore. I just haven't gone really through the DS yet. Some of these are actually my sister's. But again, look at the database if you're curious. And then 3DS. Okay, now let me show you guys what I have in my bedroom. Okay, that was what I had in my closet because I ran out of room in my bedroom. So let me show you what I have in here. So we got Virtual Boy here. 13 out of the 14 ever released in North America. And then we got NES. And I'm sure that my systems have a game in them at the moment, so again, if it's not here, it's in my database online. Super NES. My 3 Genesis games, the 3 Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I also have Mr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine in the actual system. I got N64, which I make in labels for. Except for those 2. Smash Brothers and Wave Race, apparently. There's Dreamcast there. PlayStation. I also have the first 3 Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, are not here at the moment. And Atari, which I make in labels for if I need to. And these are probably harder to see, but again, look at that database if you're curious. Okay, so finally, I'll show you guys my... Well, not finally. I'm going to show you guys my Game Boy games. Which again, I will kind of cycle through, and then you can look at your own if you're curious. So feel free to skip through if you don't care about this and you just want to look at it yourself on that database. That's perfectly fine. This is a classic right here. It's one of the, if not the first video game I ever played. Actually. Hubert, another game that my parents had on the original Game Boy. Marvel Madness is another one that I played when I was really young. Radar Mission's basically Battleship. Then I have my actual Virtual Boy games there. Here's a second tray of Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. Some of these are not mine, by the way, or weren't mine originally. This one's funny. This was given to me by the Offensive Jerk here on YouTube. It's kind of a joke in a Game Boy trade I did with him. Okay, so now moving on to Game Boy Advance, which I really need to expand my collection at some point. Yeah, I had this system the shortest of all of them because of I got the DS only a year after this, so. This is my only Game Boy Advance video cartridge. Which was kind of a cool concept, I guess, for the time. This is a hard game, by the way. This game's fun. Still need to get the Super Nintendo version of that. This is also a good game. It's basically a expanded version of Frogger. Kind of a cool game there. But yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't make this video too long, but I will split it up in the descriptions if you want to skip through certain things. But yeah, I just thought it would be easier to do kind of one comprehensive collection video every year or two, and then I'm gonna try to keep that database in the description up to date for you guys if you ever want to know what my state of the collection is like. So anyway, thanks for watching again. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.